Hello, I'm Julie. I'm the owner of York Modelmaking and the online shop York Model Rail. York Modelmaking started out as an architectural model making company over 50 years ago. I started my model making career here in the mid-80s. Most of our work was for architects and developers, so we were mostly modelling housing schemes, factories and industrial buildings, offices and retail parks, and hotels and such like. But occasionally there were models with a railway theme. These were retirement gifts. One of the first models I worked on was this demountable model for Liverpool Street Station in London. This larger scale model demonstrated a modular platform system that was being developed by Chorus. We also worked for museums. This model of Locomotion 1 is in the Preston Park Museum at Eaglescliffe, County Durham. It's mounted on a motor that carries it round the tracks whenever a series of questions are answered correctly. This model for Coltishall Museum in West Sussex was built at 1:87 scale, so we could use HO scale figures and farm animals. Many of the techniques we use are those used for railway scenery, like using a static grass machine for this farm model and architectural components for this hotel model. We invested in our first laser cutter in 2007, which speeded up the process of making the architectural models' elevations, and it also meant that we could actually make very small little detailed parts from timber and plastic that previously we would have had to have subcontracted out to get metal etched. But it was only a year later that the recession hit and most of our contracts were cancelled. So with the laser cutter sat idle, we decided we'd have a go at making architectural components for model railway enthusiasts. We put together a basic range of windows and doors, station valances and brackets, and self-adhesive roof tiles. These are still our best-selling product, probably because they save so much time. They're so quick and simple to use. We went to our first railway exhibition at Peterborough in 2009 with this very small trade stand. From there the business grew and I put together our first railway website in 2012. Each year we added more products and our trade stand grew in size. So with an upturn in the architectural work, we needed a second laser to keep up. But then recession hit again in 2017, and that combined with the uncertainty over Brexit meant that the architectural work dried up once again. So finally my boss Vic decided it was time he was going to have to retire, and he closed the architectural side of the business. But I took over the railway side and continued to grow it. So now I have a third laser to keep up with all of the extra work, and we have over 1,000 different products available on the website. You'll mainly find parts in N, OO and O gauge on our website, but because we make everything ourselves, we can rescale and tweak any of the designs of our standard items. So we can make things for whatever scale you work in, whether it's smaller or larger. The only limitation is the size of the laser bed, which is 600 by 900 millimeters, or in old money that's about 23 by 35 inches. Most of our architectural detailing parts and kits are made from Romart plastic. It looks like styrene plasticard, but it's a tougher material. It's a modified acrylic, so you can use any good quality solvents, just the same as you would with plasticard. Just requires a little more and a little longer to take effect than it would on the plastic. We also use plywood and thinner timber veneers for line side detailing, and MDF for structural components like the roof trusses and girders. We also use it to give strength to the internal structures of building kits. When a thinner material is required, we have a choice of cards and paper or mylar stencil material. There are various other materials we can use, like plastic foam, manila card, fabric and acrylic. We've got clear acrylic from 0.5 mm up to 6 mm thick, and white acrylic in 2 or 3 mm. I love seeing how the kits and all the little bits and pieces that we make are used to create such amazing models and layouts. It's lovely to receive photographs and messages from modellers all over the world. It gives me great satisfaction and a pride in what we do. I had no idea when I left school or college that I'd end up with my own laser cutting business. But maybe some things are just meant to be. When I married, I took my husband's very unusual surname of Lightburn. And of course that's how the laser works. It uses light to burn through the material. Lightburn.